Leaders from 65 countries have signed a pledge for nature, a plan to save wildlife and habitats in danger because of climate change. In England, national parks, areas of outstanding natural beauty and other protected areas account for just over a quarter of all land. The Prime Minister has promised a big increase within the next decade. Here's our science correspondent, Victoria Gill.
Peaceful, picturesque. Many of us have looked to the countryside, to nature, as an escape from at least some of the anxiety that this year has brought.
But even in the most scenic, rural, protected places, like this site in the West Pennine Moors that belongs to the wildlife trusts, many species are in decline. We're losing biodiversity in this country.
A quarter of native UK birds and mammals are now under threat. So environmental groups have welcomed the announcement by the Prime Minister that 400,000 additional hectares of English countryside, equivalent to about 400,000 football pitches, will be protected, set aside for the recovery of nature. Like so many 2020 meetings, the Biodiversity Summit today, where Mr Johnson spoke about his plan, was held virtually.
We can't afford dither and delay, because biodiversity loss is happening today. It's happening at a frightening rate, and if left unchecked, the consequences will be catastrophic for us all.
So we've got behind us is woodland. And
but while this commitment is seen as a positive step, conservationists say it takes much more than space to restore habitats and let species bounce back.
Having more land set aside for nature is really good, and it's a step forward that we've been waiting for years. But that is just one step forward. A lot of our wildlife won't survive if you just let the land go. Majority of it will turn to woodland. And of course, a lot of our species are grassland species, and species are like a mixture of everything. So all those species would disappear if everything was just woodland.
While the environment is a devolved issue, the government has pledged to work with Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and landowners across the UK to increase the amount of protected land. In England, protected areas currently make up 26% of land, so the government's pledge will increase that amount by just 4% by 2030. But with many of even those protected sites in poor condition, it will take much more than that to make the land not just green and pleasant, but healthy and biodiverse. Victoria Gill, BBC News.